The summer is almost over, and everything Belly thought she understood is starting to fall apart. The beach is quiet, the air feels heavy, and something is coming. Something that wills a camera opens on Cousin's Beach at dusk. The sky is soft and golden, but there's a strange, almost haunting stillness in the air. Waves roll in quietly, like they're holding a secret. And for the first time all summer, the beach feels different, like it knows this is the beginning of the end. The narrator speaks gently, but with tension building under every word. This summer was supposed to be simple. It was supposed to be fun, healing, maybe even magical. Things rarely stay simple at Cousins. Not for Belly, not when hearts are on the line. Behind the laughter, the late-night drives, and the moments that felt perfect, there was always something else. Something deeper. Something waiting, as the screen shows empty lifeguard chairs and footprints fading in the sand. The narrator continues. Everything has been leading to this moment. Every choice, every mistake, every feeling she tried to ignore. It all comes crashing back now. Cut to a glimpse of Belly standing alone on the shoreline, her hair blowing in the wind. She looks out toward the water like she's searching for an answer she's not ready to hear. She isn't speaking, but her silence says everything. Her heart is torn more than ever before. Then, a flash of Conrad walking away, hands in his pockets, shoulders heavy. Another flash of Jeremiah staring out the window of a moving car, jaw tight, eyes full of worry. They're both holding on to something they can't control. Belly is caught right in the center of it. The narrator whispers, "This is the last summer they will ever be the same." Music rises slow, emotional, full of tension. We see the familiar boardwalk lights flicker on one by one, glowing against the darkening sky. Behind those lights are memories Belly can't escape, choices she can no longer run from. Because episode 11 isn't just another chapter of their story, it's the turning point. It's the moment everything changes. The moment someone finally says what should have been said long ago. The moment Belly must face what her heart has been trying to tell her all along. The waves crash harder now. The screen fades to black dot, and the narrator leaves us with one final thought. When the summer ends, so does the illusion. Change her life forever. The screen brightens slowly, revealing a rolling wave pulling back from the shore. Inside, the foam, almost like a ghost of summer, we see flashes of moments Belly wished she could freeze in time. Moments that once felt warm and safe, but now sting with a different kind of truth. The narrator speaks softly, as if remembering alongside her. Some memories don't fade. They wait, they hold on, and when the heart is unsure, they whisper their way back. Quick montage begins not full scenes, just fragments. Conrad handing Belly a sweatshirt on a cold night, Jeremiah laughing as he splashes water at her, fireworks lighting the sky while she stands between them, unsure where to look, unsure where she belongs. Little pieces of joy that once felt harmless now feel heavier, sharper, impossible to ignore. Back on screen. Belly sits on the hood of a car under the dim glow of a street lamp. She's hugging her knees, staring at the empty road like she expects someone to show up, or like she's afraid someone will. Her phone lights up in her hand, but she doesn't move. She's frozen between fear and hope. The narrator continues. She thought she could carry every memory, every promise, every moment that felt real. But memories have a way of choosing sides, even when she doesn't want to. A cut to Conrad. Pacing outside the beach house, he runs a hand through his hair, frustration and longing twisting inside him. He isn't saying anything, but his face tells the whole story. There are words he's been holding back all summer. Words that could rewrite everything, or break what's left. Then Jeremiah. He's in his room, staring at a photo taped to the wall. It's Belly, laughing with the sun in her eyes. He touches the edge of the picture gently, as if it's something fragile, something he's terrified to lose again. These aren't the moments they show each other. These are the ones they hide. And episode 11 brings them all to the surface. The music shifts deeper, more emotional. We see the beach house lights flicker, like the house itself remembers every fight, every kiss, every secret whispered in its hallways. Cousins has always been a place where summers begin. But now, it feels like the place where something might finally end. The narrator leans in, voice steady but filled with tension. In the final chapter, memories aren't just memories anymore. They're clues, warnings, and reminders of what the heart truly wants, even when the mind refuses to admit it. The camera slowly zooms out, the screen darkening again, because the past isn't finished with Belly. Not yet. The screen opens on a single light flickering inside the beach house. It's late, far later than anyone should still be awake. But nights like this don't care about sleep. Nights like this are the ones that change things. Quietly at first, then all at once. A door creaks open. You don't see who it is only. The shadow moving slowly down the hallway. The house is silent, except for the soft hum of the ocean outside. It feels like the walls themselves are holding their breath. Waiting, the narrator speaks low, steady, almost like a whisper carried by the wind. Every story has a moment. The moment when something small becomes something impossible to ignore. Tonight, that moment arrives. Cut to Belly, sitting at the kitchen table with a glass of water she hasn't touched. The moonlight hits her face just right, showing the worry she's trying to hide. She turns the glass in her hands again and again, like she's trying to distract herself from the storm building inside her. Her thoughts are loud. Even if she doesn't speak them, she wants clarity. She wants peace. But neither exists tonight then. Footsteps, soft, hesitant. She looks up. A shadow pauses in the doorway. The narrator continues. It only takes one step. For the entire summer to shift. The camera doesn't reveal who's entered the room, only pieces. A hand gripping the edge of the doorway, a slow breath, shoulders rising with tension. Whoever it is, they didn't come here by accident. They came because there's something they can't keep inside anymore. The silence grows heavier, pushing on both of them. Belly's eyes flicker fear, hope, confusion, all tangled at once. The person in the doorway finally moves closer. There. Footsteps soft but certain. Outside, a wave crashes louder than before. Inside, the narrator whispers, truth has a way of finding its way out. Especially when you're tired of running from it. A chair scrapes softly against the floor. Someone sits down across from her. We still don't see his face, so only the shadow of him, the tremble in the way he holds his hands, the weight of a choice hanging between them. Between them lies the truth of the entire season. A truth that has been avoided for too long. The lantern above the table flickers, as if it senses what's coming. Because in episode 11, words will finally be spoken words that change the shape of every memory, every promise, every heartbeat. That ever passed between Belly and the boys who loved her, the narrator finishes softly. This is the moment everything shifts. The moment silence breaks. Nothing can go back to the way it was. The lights dim. The scene fades. The truth waits in the dark, ready to be spoken. The screen fades back in, with a close-up of the kitchen table. 2 untouched glasses. A soft ring of condensation forming beneath Belly's fingertips. Time feels frozen like the house itself, refuses to move until someone speaks. The quiet is no longer peaceful. It's charged, sharp, almost electric. The narrator begins, slower than before, careful like stepping through glass. Some moments don't need noise to be loud. Some truths echo before they're even spoken. A breath breaks the silence. Deep, unsteady. Shadow across from Belly shifts, leaning forward just enough to show he's gathering everything, every fear. Every hope, every forgotten promise into the words he's about to release. The camera doesn't reveal the face. Not yet. Only a trembling hand. Only the soft shake of the table leg. Only the way Belly inhales like she already knows this moment will stay with her forever. The narrator continues. Tonight isn't about choosing sides. It isn't about winning or losing. It's about honesty, the kind that hurts because it matters. Belly looks down, lashes trembling. She isn't ready, but she's tired of pretending she is. She opens her mouth to speak, but no sound comes out. Instead, her eyes drift toward the window, toward the darkness outside. It feels safer to look anywhere except at the person who might break her heart or save it. A soft whisper pierces the quiet. Just one sentence. But that single sentence shifts everything. We don't hear the exact words, only the weight of them. Only the way the air seems to thicken. Only the way Belly's fingers curl inward as if the truth just hit her straight in the chest. The house creaks. It's almost reacting. Outside, the waves crash harder against the shore, loud enough to shake the windows. It's as if the ocean itself is answering, refusing to stay silent anymore. The narrator's voice grows deeper. Some truths pull you forward, some pull you apart. But the most dangerous ones do both. The camera cuts to Belly's face in soft shadow. She finally lifts her eyes. There's fear there. Yes, but also something else. Something like recognition. Something she's been avoiding all summer long. She whispers something back. Something small. Something fragile. But whatever she says makes the figure across from her flinch like he didn't expect her to know or to admit it. This is not a fight. This is not a confession. This is something deeper to hearts, stripped of excuses. Donna speaking the truth without hiding behind choices they aren't ready to make. And just as the moment peaks, a sudden sound breaks through the house. A door closing somewhere down the hall, a shift in the lights, a reminder that they're not alone, and that the truth they're sharing might not stay between them for long. The narrator ends the section with a chilling softness. In episode 11, the truth doesn't just change the room, it changes the entire summer. Fade to black. The scene opens not in the kitchen, but in the hallway just outside it. The camera focuses on the soft glow of a single lamp, casting long shadows along the wooden floor. The house, usually warm and lively, now feels like a place holding its breath alive with tension. Waiting for what comes next, the narrator speaks gently, but with an undercurrent of warning. Truth doesn't stay in one room. It travels, it spreads, and once spoken, it touches everyone. We hear footsteps slow, uneven moving through the hallway. A figure pauses near the corner, listening. The words Belly whispered, the ones she thought were safe, float faintly through the air. And even though the camera never reveals who's listening, the stillness tells us enough. Someone heard something they weren't meant to. Cut to a shot of the beach house stairs, creak softly under the weight of someone. Retreating, someone shaken, someone who thought they understood the situation. Until now, inside the kitchen, Belly stands. Her chair scrapes across the floor, the sound unnervingly loud in the quiet house. She presses her hands against the table, trying to steady her breathing. The shadow across from her rises too, the silence between them stretched thin, full of words they can't take back. The narrator continues. Once truth enters the world, it doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't choose who hears it. It simply moves and leaves its mark. Outside, the wind picks up. Curtains flutter. A branch taps against the window like a reminder that the world keeps turning no matter how much they wish they could freeze. This moment, Belly walks toward the hallway, her footsteps soft but determined. She doesn't know someone else is awake. She doesn't know someone else heard. She only knows the weight in her chest is too much to hold alone. As she steps into the hall, the camera stays behind, her focused on the movement of her shoulders, tight with emotion. The house feels bigger now, full of shadows and unanswered questions. Then a soft thud upstairs. Barely audible but unmistakable, Belly freezes, her breath catches. The camera pans upward, revealing nothing but darkness. At the top of the stairs, the narrator whispers, "Truth is a stone thrown into still water." The splash is only the beginning. It's the ripples that change everything. Cut to the beach outside. The tide is rising, waves curling closer to the shore with urgency. The moon hides behind a cloud, dimming the world into cool gray. Back. Inside, the camera returns to the silent kitchen. Two glasses still sit on the table, one untouched, one now half empty. Evidence of a moment that should have brought clarity, but only created more questions. And somewhere in the house, someone stands alone in the dark, replaying what they heard, wondering what it means, wondering who they've lost, and who might already be slipping away. The narrator ends softly, hauntingly. In episode 11, the truth doesn't just change a conversation, it changes hearts. And once changed, they never go back to who they were. Fade to black, the screen fades in with the soft glow of early morning, the kind of light that feels honest. Even when the people standing beneath it aren't ready to face honesty yet. A faint mist hangs over Cousins Beach, blurring the edges. Of the world, like the moment between dreaming and waking, it's quiet but not peaceful. It's the kind of quiet that comes after something shifts, when everyone can feel the change. Even if no one has said it out loud, the narrator speaks with a gentle ache. Morning doesn't ask if you're ready. It just shows up and reveals everything the night tried to hide. We cut to a shot of the beach house porch. Belly steps outside, wrapped in a thin sweater, her hair slightly tangled from a night without sleep. She closes her eyes for a moment as the wind brushes against her face, cool, steady, unforgiving. It feels like the world is asking her to open her eyes in more ways than one. Inside the house, movement stirs. Footsteps, a door clicking shut. Someone else is awake, someone wrestling with their own storm of thoughts. The camera doesn't reveal who, only the silhouette crossing the living room. Pausing at the window, watching Belly from behind the glass, the narrator continues. Sometimes the hardest part of the truth is what it reveals about ourselves. Belly walks down the steps and onto the sand. Her steps are slow, as if each grain under her feet carries a memory she's not ready to face. Shots flash briefly, tiny glimpses of summers past, laughter echoing near the water, a promise whispered. Beneath fireworks, a hand slipping into hers under the boardwalk lights. Little things that felt small then, but feel huge now. Suddenly, another pair of footsteps approaches from behind. A shadow joins her on the beach. Belly tenses, not in fear, but in knowing. Whoever this is, they didn't come here by accident. The camera shows only their legs standing beside hers. It sets of footprints in the sand. It's close, but not touching. The wind shifts. The silence grows warm. It's tight, almost painful. And then a voice finally breaks it. Not loud, not angry. Just honest. We don't hear the exact words only. The trembling in Belly's breath. Only the way her shoulders rise, as if the truth hits her harder than she expected. The person beside her steps closer, not enough to touch, but enough to show. This moment matters. The narrator whispers, there are confessions that sound nothing like love, and yet they hold more love than anything else we've heard. Belly turns her head slightly. Her eyes glisten, reflecting the morning light, reflecting a decision she's not ready to make, but can no longer avoid. She opens her mouth, hesitates, and then finally speaks quiet, but steady. Whatever she says makes the other figure freeze. Silence again, except now it's different. Heavier, sharper, real. A wave crashes behind them, louder than before, as if the ocean is reacting, as if it already knows. Today's choices will mark the end of something, and the beginning of something else. The narrator ends the section with a soft, almost sorrowful tone. In episode 11, hearts don't just break, they open, and when they do, nothing stays the same. The screen fades slowly, leaving only the sound of waves and the weight of everything unspoken. The screen opens with the sound of distant thunder, not a storm. It's just a low rumble rolling across the horizon. The sun hangs high but dim, as if even the sky feels uncertain about what comes next. Cousins Beach looks the same as always, yet everything inside the house has changed. The narrator begins with a quiet gravity. Every story reaches a point where there is no turning back, a moment when the heart must decide, even if it breaks in the process. Inside the house, the air feels heavy, charged with the remains of last night's confessions and this morning's raw truths. Belly stands in the hallway, one hand resting on the railing, staring up toward the second floor. She knows someone is waiting for her, someone who needs an answer, someone who deserves the truth, even if it hurts. Her breath shakes as she steps forward. Not fast, not slow, just steady with the weight of the entire summer on her shoulders. Upstairs, a door sits slightly open. The camera doesn't show who's inside, It only captures the flicker of light spilling across the floor. Reaching toward Belly like a final invitation, the narrator continues. Every choice leaves a shadow. Every silence leaves a scar. Belly knows she can't escape either. Anymore, she reaches the doorway. Her hand trembles as she pushes it open. Inside the room, a figure turns sharply, eyes filled with fear, hope, desperation, emotions that collide so violently they almost spill onto the floor. We still don't see the full face. Only a profile. Enough to know this moment matters. Enough to feel the tension in the air. Belly steps inside, closing the door gently behind her. The click echoes like a heartbeat. She speaks first not with certainty, but with honesty. Her words slip out slowly, shaped by nights of confusion, mornings of clarity, and emotions she has held inside for far too long. Whatever she says changes the room instantly. The figure steps back, stunned.
Ah!
A breath shudders from their chest. A truth they feared is now real. A truth they hoped for might also be real. That's the thing about love. It never breaks in just one direction. The narrator's voice softens. Some choices heal, some choices wound, but the most important choices do both. The scene cuts to Jeremiah at the bottom of the stairs, gripping the railing, listening to the muffled voices upstairs. His eyes close, his jaw tightens. He already knows something has shifted, something he can't stop. Cut again. Conrad in the driveway, leaning against his car, staring at the sand beneath his feet as if trying to steady himself for what he's about to hear. He looks up once, toward the window of the room Belly entered. His breath catches. The narrator whispers, "When love runs deep, someone always breaks." The final shots come slow and heavy, Belly emerging from the room, eyes red, but strangely calm. The boys standing apart from each other, waiting for what she will say. Three hearts tethered by one summer, now stretched to their breaking point, and then fade to black. The narrator delivers the final line, quiet yet powerful. Episode 11, Belly makes her choice. And with it,